Hi everyone, this is my special lecture series of Linux programming under my channel Adept to Teach. Myself, Dr. Ramandeep Kaur. I'll be covering the following contents in my lecture. Please subscribe my channel to receive the updates and click on the bell button for notifications. If you like the video, then consider commenting and sharing. Okay, so in previous lecture, we discussed about what is grep and what is the syntax of it and how we can use it. Now, in this lecture, we'll discuss what are the different operators and atoms a regular expression that is used in grep is comprised of. So, regular expression says it has two parts, atoms and operators. Atoms means what text has to be matched and where it has to be located, where it has to be found. And operator is basically used to combine your regular expression. So we can see that with the help of this component diagram, wherein your atom comprises of 5 subcomponents. You can have a single character, you can have a dot, you can have a class, you can have an anchor, and you can have a back reference. So atoms specify what text you are going to search for and where it is to be found, in which file, or whether you are taking the data from your command line arguments, so where it has to be found. So we'll see every atom one by one, starting with the first atom, that is single character atom. So single character atom means when you you want to search for one character at a time, you want to match for one character at a time. So for example, if I have to match a pattern, single letter, then let's say I am trying to match my regular expression L, and the string that with which I am going to match is, let's say, hello. So this is my search expression, that is my regular expression. So I'm going to match L, and this regular expression will match with every character of your entire string, but one at a time. So first it will match with the first location, then with the second location, then with the third location. Wherever it will get the match, it will stop and it will give you the output as true. Likewise, if let's say the regular expression that I was trying to match was S, then if I try to match it here again, it will search character by character. If none of the character matches my regular expression, then the output will be false. This is the first way how we match. That means we are matching single character at a time. Second is if I put a dot. So dot says I am not specifying the character, but any character can be placed there. Any character can take a place and it will match. Now, for example, my regular expression, I put a dot here and this is my string. So dot means any character can be replaced with this. So it will match at all the positions. If I try to compare dot with H, it will match because dot in itself says any character can take its place. In second example, I am giving regular expression as H and dot. That means first letter I am setting as H, second character is dot. So second character can be anything. So now in this example, first character H matches and second character is dot. That means any available character can match here. So E does matches here, and this expression will give us an output as true. Third example. Now here I am putting small h and dot. Now wherever we are working in Linux, right in the beginning we said Linux is case sensitive. So writing capital H and small h is different. So if I write small h here and now I'm try to match h and dot. So this h will not match anywhere in your matching string. So it will give a false output. Third is character classes. So rather than one character at a time, I try to match multiple characters at a time. So basically, when I would like to provide multiple characters from out of which one can be true, then I will enclose it in a square bracket. So we can see this with the help of an example. So I'm matching hello with ABL. So either A is there in the string or B is there in the string or L. If any of the three character matches any character with the searchable string, that is hello, then it will give an output as true.
So the first character H is tried to be matched with the characters of regular expression that are enclosed in your square brackets. So it will try to match A, B, L. None of the character matches here. Then it will move to the second location. Again, it tries to match. Then it goes to third location. Now here, A does not matches with L, B does not matches with L, but L does matches with L. So it will give us a true combination. Rather than this, there can be another method. If I am talking about a continuous range of characters, I could write like this also with a hyphen. So like A hyphen Q. That means all the characters starting from A up till Q. If any of the character, one, it will search for one character. If any of the character matches, it will give us an output as true. Likewise, if I want to negate the output, that means let's say in the first place I put a negation sign. Here I put a negation sign. Then what will do? Other than ABL, if there is any other character, then it will match. So this uh, character caret operator will be used for negating any of the characters. Now these are my some of my character classes that we can use for searching. Like if I give within square brackets A to H, it means that I am giving the range from A to H that any of the character can match from here. Likewise, I can give capital A to Z, then 0 to 9 matching for any digit. Now in this case, if I am giving within square brackets, I am writing bracket and A. Now here this inner square bracket will be treated as a character. So the system will try to match either you have a square bracket available or you have A available. It will search for both the things. Likewise, here we are searching for either it should be a digit or we are looking for a hyphen. So either it will match for any character between 0 to 9 or it will match for a simple hyphen. Then if I put caret sign AB, which means any character except for A or B. So other than AB, if there is any other character, it will match. So again, if I want to match irrespective of cases of my letters, then I can write A to Z and small a to Z combined. So any alphabet belonging within this range, one character at a time will be matched. If I give caret operator with 0 to 9, then any character will be matched other than a digit. Then if I give a square bracket of right hand side and A, that means it will match for look for a square bracket and A. If I write caret slash caret, now here the second caret operator will not be treated as negation. It will be read as a literal character. Whatever string which will start with the caret operator, that will not be treated, that will not be read. Other than that, it will be read. So whenever we put a backslash operator in between, the letter followed, the special characters followed by the backslash will be treated as a normal character without any special meaning. Okay, so moving ahead, next is named character class. So you can use named characters rather than when you are using classes like A to Z and capital A to Z, rather than giving this type of range, you can rather give the named classes also. Like instead of using A to Z and A to Z, so you are trying to search for any alphabet, whether it is capitals or small. So rather than that, you can enclose it in double square brackets along with double columns at both the sides and in between written alpha. This is a special class that we are trying to call. So this class will search for any alphabet that is available. Now next is our anchors. Anchors means when we are talking about beginning and end. Beginning of the line, end of the line, beginning of a word, end of a word. So that time we use these anchor atoms. So let's see, if I am putting a simple caret operator, it will search for the beginning of line. So it will point towards your first character. So if I am, let's say, looking for any word and I want that the word should be the first word in the line, then I can put a anchor symbol operator in front of that particular word and it will exactly search for that. Likewise, if I'm looking for a word that should be available at the end of my line, then I can use my dollar sign along with that word. If I'm looking for a pattern match, and that pattern match should be first character of the word, beginning of a word, if I'm looking for, then I will enclose it with a slash and followed by a less than sign. If I want that a character to be searched to be matched with respect to end character of every word. So end character means let's say the first word is one, so last character is E. Second word is line, the last character is again E. So now it will search for only the last character. It will match with the last character of every word. Then we'll use slash and a greater than symbol. Now back references means this back references comes pretty handy, which means if I am trying to replace certain words with some sub expressions. So I can create some sub expressions within a string. That means I can have a bigger string and I can make smaller sub strings out of that main string. That substring will be folded within brackets, normal brackets. Now, let's first try to understand that with the help of an example. Let's say I am reading a file. The name is I'm creating a file that is cat and regex.txt, that is regular expression.txt. Now here I've written a line regular expressions. So whatever string I'm trying to search as a regular expression, whether that matches to my file or not. That is what I'm trying to search here. So let's see how I have written here. I have written grep capital E in double quotes. I have written the searchable pattern. The searchable pattern is supposed to be regular expressions. So how I have written, rather than writing the complete words, I have written RE within a bracket. So this was my searchable string, and from the searchable string, I have made a small substring. My small substring is RE. I have enclosed it in small brackets, in brackets. After that, when I have written expressions, rather than writing the complete expressions, what I have done, I have written here is exp slash one double sions. So what it is going to do, this first bracket, whatever content is written in the first bracket, will be treated as substring one. So when I write here slash one, that means this slash one will be replaced by the first substring, that is RE. So when the system will read it, it will replace this slash one. It will look for the first regular sub string, that is RE. So it will read it as regular, and exp. Then for slash one, it will again put here RE, then double sions. This is how it is going to search. So this entire pattern, after it is getting replaced, will be searched, will be matched from this particular file. So now it will read the file, it will see whether this line is there or not. If this line is there, it will print that particular line. So I am using slash and the digits as my back references. So how I'm back referencing here, whatever is my first bracket, that will be first reference. If I enclose something in second bracket, that will be automatically treated as my second expression, second digit. This we can see with the help of second example. Here I have written grep hyphen capital E within double quotes. Now what I have done, I have enclosed R in one bracket. So this becomes my first sub expression out of my main regular expression. Then second, I have enclosed E also in my bracket. So this becomes my second sub expression. Then followed by GULAR. Now here, what I have done, slash 2. Slash 2 means I am talking about the second expression. See, whatever is the second sub expression, it will pick that sub expression and put it here. So here, the slash 2 will be replaced with E. Then exp is written as it is, then slash 1. Here R will replace slash 1, then again slash 2, E will replace slash 2, then double sions. So this becomes expression. These are different ways of searching patterns. So if let's say I have an example here, I would like to search for a palindrome, how I can do it. Now palindrome means example, Nitin, when I read it in the reverse order, it is read in the same manner and it is spelled also in the same manner. Looking at the example, my first word in the palindrome is same as my last word. Then my second word in the palindrome is same as my second last word. The center word is as it is printed, whatever it is. So considering this example in mind, we will make a palindrome. So first, there can be any character. I started grep. Within single quotes, I have enclosed the entire pattern. My first pattern is A to Z. So from A to Z, one letter will be matched. So any letter from A to Z should be matched. Second character is again A to Z. So second character, any letter from A to Z will be matched. Third, now third is again any letter from A to Z will be matched. Now here you see that I have enclosed first two A to Z in a bracket. So first character becomes regular expression 1, sub expression 1. The second character becomes my second regular expression. Okay. So now I will start with the numbering. So automatically, since this is enclosed in second regular expression, so it will be treated as 2. The first regular expression enclosed in brackets, it will be treated as 1. So now when I have to match, how I am going to match? My first expression should be my last expression. So my first expression should come as a last expression. N should come as last n. The first expression, sub-expression, should come as the last sub-expression. In between, the second sub-expression should be my second last sub-expression. In between, the center expression remains as it is. So this is how we are going to match for a palindrome.